Move away from the crowd.
We would not want to work with a developer that wants to build, sell, and hasta luego.
Louis, I would call him the king of branded resi.
Ennismore is at the core a hospitality company that focuses on three fundamental pillars: on lifestyle, on leisure, and on food and beverage. The fundamentals of a guest journey. They understand the fundamentals of how a person likes to sleep, how do they like to take their shower, how do they like to eat, because we do this for a living.
His facility management. How many assets do you guys manage worldwide?
From an Ennismore perspective, we run more than 150 hotels and another 150 in the pipeline. And if you look at the larger group, we're talking around 6,000 hotels. So SLS, Delano, 25 Hours, the F&B space, brands that are Gigi, Coco,
What's the story with Gigi? My God,
We'll
everyone's talking about Gigi.
we'll get there. Let's
Please invite me there once.
The Dubai market is evolving in a very interesting manner. It's maturing from a residential perspective. Everyone has a pool, everyone has a gym, everyone has a great designer. And you were asking us, how can we bring what you do in hotels, lifestyle hotels, into a residential world?
Is that we created 3 different products in 3 different areas with 3 independent, completely separate DNAs.
While everyone was going this direction, we wanted to go the opposite. You coming from a very good sales perspective, this is what I need to sell. Us coming from a brand perspective, this is how we can differentiate.
Do you remember the reaction the client had when we told him we wanted 63,000 square feet of amenities? Louis, Habibi, our first podcast. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Glad to be here, Husni.
أهلا. I had to say أهلا. خلاص ركبت. Louis, we've been working together for approximately 2 years now, a little bit longer.
I think we've known each other for a bit longer, but our first project, I think so, 2
Okay.
years.
Okay. And in these 2 years,
We've done so much.
due to the demand, I think we've done how many projects?
I think we've done 1, 2, 3, 4 projects together, if I'm not mistaken.
And a couple on the pipeline as well.
Hopefully.
Okay. And obviously, Louis, if you have not met him, I would call him the king of branded resi. He's the guy who travels the world, has a very refined taste, understands how to add value, not only to a building, but really, people in his position need to have a sense of refined luxury or attention to details, not only structurally or with the ID, but the whole community as a whole. And if there is anyone that you want advice on how to really uplift a community, a building, him and his team, these are the guys to talk to.
Thank you, Husni.
We've done a lot with each other. You've had a huge impact on all these projects that we worked on. And I want you to tell us a little bit more about Ennismore. Ennismore, majority of the projects we worked with are from Ennismore. We've done a couple other ones, but please let us know a little bit more on Ennismore so we can educate the crowds.
First, thank you, Husni, for
Ahlan.
hosting me for the first podcast, and thank you for the nice words to introduce. A quick view on Ennismore, just for anyone that doesn't know Ennismore. Ennismore 2.0, the way we know it today, was established almost 3 years ago. It's a combination of some of the lifestyle brands that Accor, which is one of the largest hotel companies in the world, had acquired, plus a UK-based company. Ennismore is at the core a hospitality company that focuses on 3 fundamental pillars. We focus on lifestyle, on leisure, and on food and beverage. And our original ethos was lifestyle hotels, leisure hotels, and very solid F&B. So the brands behind Ennismore would be brands that probably everyone knows: SLS, Delano, 25 Hours. And if I go into the F&B space, brands that are Gigi, Coco,
What's the
Mimika
story
Kushi.
with Gigi? My God,
We'll,
everyone's talking about Gigi.
we'll get there. Let's
Please invite me there
let's-
once.
I
Yeah.
invited-
Out of this podcast, I want to get a
I
proper...
invited you.
Wallah, we did?
Yeah, I did invite you.
Did we get an invite?
You did get an
Okay,
invite.
fine. But thank you. But tell us about Gigi. Everyone's talking about Gigi.
Gigi is for another day. Let's focus on branded resi and on hotels. So
good.
2 years ago, Husni, actually, when you guys came to us and you were putting in front of us the opportunity that today the Dubai market is evolving in a very interesting manner. It's maturing from a residential perspective, and buyers are evolving. Their expectations are increasing, and you've asked us, what can we do to be different? Because you've seen it all in Dubai. Everyone has a pool, everyone has a gym, everyone has a great designers. And you were asking us, how can we bring what you do in hotels, lifestyle hotels, into a residential world? So it was not new to us, but it was something quite interesting. And we took the fundamentals of hotel building. So we thought, what would we want to have in a residential building that no one else is doing? And we did that programming that we do in hotels in a residential building. How can we imagine a lobby differently? How can we imagine facilities differently? How can we design a space in a way that people cannot have them because people cannot have lifestyle hotels at home? So that was the thought process, and that's how we
And
started.
their input, if you guys would like to know a little bit more details, their input was in the marketing collateral and how it needs to be presented. And we worked together as a team. And I think let's, you know what, let's tell the people about two of the projects that we worked
Of
on.
course,
Let's discuss a little bit more on SLS on the Palm and a little bit on Hyde in Dubai Hills.
of
I mean,
course.
these two projects are very close to my heart because we really worked on them. Also, we did 25H. So I think what we've managed to do together as a team, and that's a very unique attribute that we have, is that we created three different products in three different areas with three independent, completely separate DNAs.
Correct.
So every product has its own approach, every product has its own added value, and they're completely separate. And if you look at them from the outside, you'll be like, oh, you know what, these are three different developers or three different people worked on it. But in matter of fact, it was the same team, but with a different vision. And a lot of the input came in from your traveling experience because you've seen, I mean, you do that for a hobby as well. Every time I call you, you're in another city. So
That's
it's
work,
probably where you get your
unfortunately.
inspiration
That's
from.
work, unfortunately. But
Let's talk about
of
these
course,
three three
I
big
think
projects.
I think Hosni, what people struggle to understand is that by hiring random consultants, as good as they are, whether it's an architecture consultant or an interior designer consultant, you're gonna ultimately get a good product. The reality is that you need someone to actually give them a proper brief and a proper vision of what that project's supposed to be and needs to be managed. On how many occasions did we start with a consultant and we struggled? Then we had. So let's talk about SLS. When we decided to do SLS on the Palm, an area that has an abundance of luxury projects, we said that while everyone was going this direction, we wanted to go the opposite direction. What does that mean? We decided to bring an interior designer that has never done branded resi before, purely hotel perspective, and we took the bet to try to push them. Now, the good thing is that the SLS
It
brand,
wasn't easy, but we got the
we
perfect
got there.
product.
So the SLS brand is fairly defined. It has a baroque approach. It's very bold. It's very clear. And how can we translate this into a residential world? And I think the work that we all of us did together, you coming from a very good sales perspective, this is what I need to sell. Us coming from a brand perspective, this is how we can differentiate. And the brief we gave to the designers got us to a project that I think allowed us to sell for a premium. Why? Because no one else was offering the same on the entire palm from a design perspective, from an amenities perspective, from a program perspective, and that was the advantage and the success of the project.
And on that, I would like to add, I mean, the input was done not only on how the building looks or what the interior looks like, but it was designed, and I loved this approach, and it was more of a customer journey. And our input was the customer journey on the purchase part, so how the whole buyer walks in, what he sees, and how he sees it, and when he purchases, and the SPAs and the contracts and all of that. And then they had the approach, and it was beautiful, of how the customer is going to actually walk into the property. Not only walk into the property, the journey starts from the moment he drives his car into the
Absolutely.
SLS or any of the other projects, the 25H or High that we worked on. And that really gave us that kind of first point view of what needs to be done and how it needs to be done.
And Hosni, the
Cracknell, with the consultants we worked in as well, and they also added a lot of value, and we're grateful. I think we work we're a very healthy relationship. Uh, Even the landscape consulting, the lighting consulting, the facade consulting, the input was put together, and we drove. Or directed the whole conversation, managed to coordinate between all these really very I mean, they're strong
restaurant.
consultants, and we've managed to get them all together and seamlessly get the product out.
Husni, you know the buyer profile in Dubai has changed,
100%.
and the investors are very sophisticated. They're well traveled. They know what they're buying. So you cannot get away anymore with a nice brochure and a couple nice renders. They need to make sure that there is proper substance behind the projects, and that's why we insist on getting quality. It doesn't mean it's more expensive, but you need to get quality consultants on board. And you've mentioned them. That goes from designer to art consultant to lighting to landscaping, because that's how you create a unique project. And I thank you for always helping us with the multiple developers to get those aligned.
Results.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy.
A lot of people think, we come to Ennismore or a core group and we sign an agreement to take on a brand and it automatically gives us that extra profit. That's not the case at all. We've worked, SLS as an example, the cost of construction was impacted significantly. Yes, we got a beautiful product. Yes, it's branded. Yes, it's got all the qualities and the boldness of the brand and the lifestyle and the landscaping and the water and the beach and all of that. But the cost was impacted significantly. Yes, we did increase the value of the product, but the ultimate goal for us, I think, in SLS and all the projects that we're working on is to differentiate us from the crowd. It improves the revenue, but not as much. People think that as soon as you slap a brand on, oh, you can charge a premium of 20%. But in the back end, it's costing us a significant amount more in order for us to develop it.
You know, Hosni, the brand, hospitality brand association, because I like to differentiate hospitality brand association from non-hospitality brand. It gives the investor a bit of comfort, because that investor knows that if a hotel brand is on that building, first of all, they understand the fundamentals of a guest journey. They understand the fundamentals of how a person likes to sleep, how do they like to take their shower, how do they like to eat, because we do this for a living. So it gives them comfort. So when a buyer is buying a hospitality branded unit, he has comfort that the product is going to be of quality, that the design is going to be at a level that's one
One thing
important
I
element.
always add to that point is facility management. How many assets do you guys manage worldwide?
So from an Ennismore perspective, we run more than 150 hotels and another 150 in the pipeline. And if you look at the larger group, we're talking around 6,000
So
hotels.
6,000 hotels. So you literally, one of your main priorities is to make sure that that asset is sustained at a certain level of quality in terms of build, cleanliness, structural, all of that over decades. So this is a wealth of experience
And
that
and this is a difference between a branded resi, hospitality branded resi, and a label. A
I say
label
I say that all the
a
time.
label
It's
is a sign on the
people
door.
who've just
Yeah,
started
and
following me will
yeah.
know that I've been preaching that for a while now.
And you know, we've gone a step further, and let's talk a bit about our projects. In none of our projects we've accepted to just do a residential offering without adding a lifestyle component. And the word lifestyle is use and reuse, but what we define in lifestyle component is always have a permanent space that is active and alive. That could be a restaurant, that could be a beach club, that could be a private members club, that could be a bike shop, that could be a speakeasy on the 60th floor. We always wanted a space in our residential building that are alive, because residential buildings are sad. You can walk down now in the street and go and walk into one building after the other. They're well designed, they're well thought through, but they're sad.
Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the challenges we're facing with the developers. Okay, and in specific, what do you remember the reaction the client had when we told him we wanted 63,000 square feet of amenities?
Listen, I think the
Be-
we like to work with developers that see that are first of all vested for the long term.
First of all, let me just on this point,
Yeah.
just so that they understand. The GFA on that project is 400,000 square feet, and we convinced the client to build 63,000 square foot of amenities. Tell us a little bit more on 25H and how this building is going to stand out from the concrete jungle in the
Around.
downtown.
Yeah, so 25 hours Heimat. We call it Heimat because Heimat is in German, because 25 hours, a German brand, means home. And it's a word that you do not have in other languages. It's where you feel at home. So when we decided to take the 25-hour brand for the first time,
And tell us about the
and
extra hour.
yeah, the 25 hours brand, when we decided to take it to a residential offering, our first goal was to do the following: is how can we create a residential building that has life, that is not boring, that will constantly have activities in the lobby. In 25 hours Dubai, in our hotel here, we clock 6 to 800 people in and out on a daily basis.
Big
How,
traffic.
how can we bring that life into a residential building? And that's why we've asked for the amenities. So we had two types of amenities in this building. We had amenities that are dedicated for the residences, because when you are in residence, you need a bit of privacy and you want to interact with people living with you.
And you want to feel special. It's
Absolutely.
mine.
But for the first time, we said we want amenities in a residential building
For the community.
that's open for the communities, for people around to come. And
You remember the sizes?
absolutely. And that's why you will ultimately decide to live in this building, because if you are bored, if you are sad, if you are looking to meet people, you know that at any time you're going to go down to the lobby and you're going to find people and be interactive.
From the community, not
Absolutely.
just from your building.
Absolutely.
And you've done a beautiful job down there. And structurally, architecturally, and the amenities that we have there, beautiful.
Yeah, so 25 Hours Heimat is a very interesting project because on the ground floor you have a lobby, a hotel lobby feel where we have co-working spaces, we have an alimentare, we have a very nice a coffee shop that's open for the public. So it will be constantly vibrant. But then once you go to the podium level where you have the pool and some sports facilities.
Sorry, I will continue on that, but I just want to mention one more thing. You know, the approach, and I love that idea. When we did the lobby of 25H, any typical lobby, any building in Dubai, you walk in, you're welcomed by a security guard. Someone, you know, and it's not a consistent welcome. Sometimes he's in a good mood, sometimes he's not in a good mood. So the way we've done the entrance of the 25H, the reception is put exactly where it needs to be, right in front of the elevators, and you do not see them unless you're going to the elevators.
You know, Husni, I worked in hotels most of my life and I spend a lot of time in hotels. But the reality of things is that hotel lobbies are intimidating. If you are not a hotel guest and you walk into a hotel lobby, you feel intimidated. You are always worried. Will someone ask me, do I have. In our hotels, we always try our best to do the opposite. We want you to walk in and not see a reception or not have someone ask you, because we want you to feel at home. We want you to come in because ultimately you'll
We
come
achieved
in.
that in 25H.
And this is what we decided to do in the residences. You are going to visit someone. You're not entering the Pentagon. Let it be friendly. Let it be. But of course, the elevators are monitored. Once you get to that private residential space, it
That's
becomes
where-
private. But
Exactly.
if you want to enter the lobby of, you're waiting for a friend, you're not entering. We're in
Everyone's
Dubai.
welcome.
We are in the safest city in the world. Let's make it friendly. Let's make it, and that's what we did. And let me just quickly
It
finish.
has a heart of its own.
Let me quickly finish on 25 Hours Haima just to see. So we did public areas open to the public. The podium level, we thought about it, families, communities, sports, everything,
Kitchens, barbecues.
kitchens, etc. And then we said, this building needs an adult-only floor. So we went up and we created an adult-only pool and an adult-only speakeasy. So in my thought process, this building will accommodate young and cool adults. It will accommodate young people that do not have yet kids, and it will attract everything within that community in. And the developer and the investor will not only make money by having sold that building, they're going to make money from the ground floor because there's a retail component, there's an F&B component. So it's a constant revenue generation source for the developer. And the reason why we like those types of developers, because they are in it for the long run. We would not want to work with a developer that wants to build, sell, and hasta luego.
That project is going to be a star on their shoulder. And if they ever go out, you know, there are certain projects in Dubai, and there's plenty of those projects. If you say the name of the project, automatically they're associated to the developer. And that's the kind of product this is. We've spoken about 25H, and I think it's one of my favorite ones. We really did create something that has its own DNA, and it has its own it's heartbeat, and it's in the middle of the downtown. Tell us a little bit more about Hyde in Dubai Hills.
Hyde is probably the project that has accumulated all of the learnings we have done on all of our projects, because every project taught us to work better together, and every project taught us also what does the customer want, how can we do this. Hyde, first of all, we did it in a record time because we had aligned. We know how to work. We're going to take the proper road. Let's not cut corners. Let's get the right consultants. And we've done it this way.
We turned the design around in 2 months.
2 months. I think Hyde is an exceptional project because for me, have everything I want in a residential. First of all, the location is out of this world, but that's not enough because you have competition around you. So we took a very strong local designer that understand the brand because they've worked with us in Miami on a similar brand, and maybe we need to give them a shout out, which is Paul Bishop Studio. They did an excellent job. We took an existing overall architecture that was kind of classic. we had to tweak it and bring a bit of edginess to it. But I think
We
what,
actually removed the edges from
yeah,
it
yeah.
on the balcony.
But I think what really made this project exceptional is what we managed to do on the podium, connecting it with retail. So today, the flagship asset, the flagship part of this asset is the pool. So we've created an amazing pool because all of the hides have amazing pools. Then we created something that we call a summer club, which is a summer house, which is a place where residents can hang out, meet, invite friends. But pool and summer house without actual F&B offering or without actual life in it, because we don't get under it, we had a retail shop, and we convinced the owner to allow us to do through one of our partner
Which one is it?
Ricas. So
Okay.
the Ricas group, who is part of Ennismore, we decided to create a restaurant down, connected to the summer house and connected to the pool. So this will be one of the few residences in Dubai where you're sitting on your pool and you would like to order a nice sandwich, have a nice mocktail today, maybe tomorrow cocktail, we never know. But at least you are in a residential building where you have services that are similar to the ones of a hotel. And we've done this while having residents, utilizing the retail space, getting our F&B know-how into that building. And I think this project is a no.
And that restaurant's going to be good for you as well, because don't forget the mall's right in front of you. So
Absolutely.
you will be getting traffic from that side of the project. What else, man? What else? We're working on a couple more. I don't think we want to talk about them now. We'll keep them till later.
We have an
We're working on
exciting
a
one.
very
I
exciting
think
couple of
exciting one. I
projects.
think
Couple of projects, I'd
actually
say,
this is the one where we've taken all of the know-hows and put them together. But let's leave this one for another.
for later.
For it. Listen, I think just to maybe to wrap it up and just to talk about a few points. I think Dubai is, as I've mentioned earlier, is a city that's seen it all. And if you are not capable of innovating and pushing the boundaries, you'll very quickly get copied or very.
Move away from the crowd.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what we managed to do together, and I think the team and the trust that we have together, is on every project we've decided to push it a bit further, decided to add elements that we couldn't accept to add in the previous project, which is allowing us every project to do something a bit nicer, a bit better. And the main proof of it is that I'm actually investing in most of the projects we are doing ourselves on a personal level. So I truly believe in what we're doing, and I truly believe of the ultimate, and for different reasons. So yeah, I hope we're gonna have much more together. I think Dubai is a city that's gonna continue to flourish. We just need to stay innovative. We will always need your support to be able to work with
Vice
developers.
versa, vice versa. I think
Uh,
we complement each other very nicely. I think I'll end it in saying two things. We are working on a horizontal project, so a nice little branded,
Inshallah.
yeah, that's gonna work out. And once it does, it's going to be a very interesting one. And I think the way I would end this is I would tell Lewis that I'm very impressed with how we've managed to create something out of this relationship in a very short period of time. And it doesn't happen very often. There's a lot of great ideas, but when you click with someone and there's a right chemistry, I think we're able to create a lot of good
Absolutely.
things. And I think this is the start of the relationship. And if anything that I learned from Lewis, or I'll take away from Lewis, is I need to travel a lot more. And I need to go to the hotels and enjoy a
You should
little.
enjoy life. At the
Yes.
end of the, that's what I tell. By the way, a lot of people ask me, especially people in my team, do you think I should do a master's or should? In reality, in the world we live in, the best master you can do is go enjoy life, travel, eat in nice restaurants, see beautiful spaces. Because if you want to be in that space, you need to understand it,
100%.
and the best way to understand it is to live it
So
yourself.
for now, you do the traveling, you go see the restaurants, you go see the hotels, you enjoy the beaches and all of that, and then come back to us and tell us what to do here, and
Absolutely.
we'll execute on our side. Man, so nice to have you
Thank
here.
you.
I think we can sit and talk for hours, me and you. We'll do this again, and maybe people will request to have this
Thank you, Husni.
conversation again. Thank you again, Habibi. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.